Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome to Ace Bob Ross, how to paint in oils, alkyds, acrylics, and whatever else you paint in. I'm not allowed small space. Um, Today, I'm going to call this Beneath the Narrative, because I want to go over just a couple of things that I've already talked about, and draw you a picture. So, I kind of finished this up. Well, it's mostly finished. I've got some more glazing to do on it, but that you can only see that through refraction, and for the purposes of a phone camera, it's pretty much done. I'm going to call it DNA RSVP. And first of all, I'm going to do my water ritual, and into the water. Crazy is still in here. The water's getting dirty from this washing off the, oh no, that's from the carbon on the kneaded eraser coming off. This kneaded eraser is still in here. I'd be curious to know what they make these out of. It's just kind of slime. Oh, there's the safety pin. It's just not slimy. This has almost disappeared. But crazy is still in here. Let's wash this. Oh, there you go, crazy. Crazy's still in the water. So today I'm going to put in a cutting tool. And I'm not going to leave it in for long because it's a cutting tool. But I'm going to put it in the water for now. So here's to being able to cut certain ties with whatever we need to cut certain ties with. This is, so I wanted to express to you that you have a studio space, and it is your space. You delineate it. You have, if you can move your elbows and your hands and your head and your upper body, that's all you need. You could go from there, but that's all you really need. You don't need that. I mean, you could do it with you could do that with just your brain, to tell you the truth. And at some point, I'll talk about seeing with your visual cortex without your eyes. So I'm actually having my own loss of the use of my eyeball. My eyesight is okay, but the use of my eyeballs is not working right. And to me, my valuable parts of my body are my eyes and my hands. And that's, I look out of my eyes and I work with my hands. So, I'm kind of going through a series of loss myself, personally. I wanted to so the U of a studio, it's safe. You can play, you can experiment, you can explore the darkest parts of humanity, and you can come back safe. Think of it as your spaceship time machine, Aladdin's tent. And that is also a place where you can record and journal what you're going through right now. And don't judge it. Don't think much about it. Just do it and then move on to whatever else you have to do. Just leave it. Just let it pile up. Maybe just like one a day if you can. The other thing that you can explore is beauty. Now, beauty is, it's a complicated thing. I wrote down it's both fierce to gentle, and that it is seductive submissive / to revealing of truth. So I think one of the highest forms of beauty is that which reveals truth, and truth is beauty, and beauty is truth, as they say. Now, the thing about a painting or any sort of artwork is that it always involves a narrative. And let's see, and then you bring the narrative, you bring half the narrative, or a piece of the narrative. And all you need to do is go through a process of letting go and discovering. So here is a canvas. This is looking at a canvas from the side, okay? This is blown up. So here's all the paint on the canvas. Here's the eyeball that sees it. Let's give it some eyelashes. So then it kind of goes in here and does other stuff. But this person who's looking at it, I'm drawing this upside down, so that's kind of, oh no, those are bad lips, oh well, brings their narrative to this canvas, the surface of the canvas. This is just a piece of cloth or wood or whatever it is. I'm showing you different techniques of how to put this paint onto the canvas. But that's just a little tiny bit of part of making a painting. It's just a small part. What you bring, the narrative you bring, say this is the artist. I can't do this upside down. Brings their narrative. The viewer then brings their narrative. So everybody's bringing a narrative to this surface of the, and what the artist does is go to get the image. The artist goes here, approximately, and gets an image. Say something like this, drawn upside down. Here's a figure that kind of has a little bit of a cucumber shape. So there's just a little image. The narrative, once you get this image onto here, the narrative then flows from beneath the surface. It's hard to put into words. Don't take this literally, because I'm not trying to say this literally. But the narrative comes in from all directions, and the narrative itself builds itself. Just let it go. Just let it build itself. Don't judge it. Just let it go. Play some music or something to get your mind off of it. I'm going to. So there's that. I have time constraint, and my eyes are bothering me today. Anyhow, I'm going to pick up the camera and show you around, and then I'm just gonna say goodbye. I'm not gonna put myself back on the camera, but I'm gonna play the last. I'm gonna time myself by playing the last part of BTS Blood, Sweat and Tears. This is a video. The whole video is worth a little bit of your eyeball time, not just your ear time, but your eyeball time. What they're talking about is a lot of what I'm talking about, but they're young and they're doing it in a very creative way. They're sort of like, first time I heard them, I thought these are young Mozarts, and maybe young Beatles, but young Mozarts. So I'm going to show you around and point out some of the things, or just show it to you, and listen to the rest of this, and see if this works. All right, here we go.
He too was a tempter. He too was a link to the second. An evil world with which I no longer wanted to have anything to do.
Depuis tant